Hello everyone. This is my 6th video tutorial on the topic of how to create an archviz project for beginners. In this tutorial, I will let you guys understand more about how it works, the material in the Unreal Engine, how it works. I will choose a sample material imported from the previous tutorial. For example, this flooring material. I will take it as a sample for you to easily visualize. When we export using Datasmith, Datasmith has already created for us a material. It is this SketchUp preference material. It is a sample material, very basic, and very limited parameters. For example, here we have a place to place the texture. You can replace it with the map you need. For example, this. It also has metallic opacity. If you have used other renders, probably not unfamiliar with these. Metallic is the mapping of metallic. Roughness like glossies. It is luminosity, the Datasmith shadow only gives us a few basic parameters, but we can add if we want. With the Unreal Engine, you will understand more about this parent, what it is. Not only the new material has a parent blueprint widget, also a parent. It is like a template that sets the parameters of the instance or child. They will use that parameter. Unreal Engine is a programming software. You can code or use alternative nodes with equivalent functionality. They are actually binary files. Instead of sitting and looking at a bunch of words, here we have a look at the nodes chart. It will be much simpler for the artists. If giving a fun comparison, it's like AutoCAD and Revit on one side you have to draw each line, and on the other side, one line will output a wall. Such a fun example for your easy understanding. But it's still material programming. Later on you will have to use a lot, including blueprint and VFX widgets, post-process. So learn a lot about them. Then here we still have outputs, similar to other rendering software. Unreal Engine uses PBR material system. PBR material first appeared on Unreal Engine. Bry also used this material system. So Bryce materials. When you have set up with objects at 3ds Max, when importing into Unreal Engine, those materials still display exactly what Bry shows. But when looking at graphs map nodes, it's really confusing. The settings here you can add or subtract as you like, as long as it works correctly. Because one problem has many solutions. No one has the right to say you're wrong. However, how much or how little the number of nodes or functions here affects the performance. Then when you look here, you should consider how to use it appropriately. It is the base pass shader. If the number is larger, performance will be more affected. I take for example, this base pass shader has up to 3000. But there are thousands of materials out there loading at the same time. Then performance here we have to rethink. So there are many materials with parents with different functions. Is better for project performance because we prioritize real time. It is the greatness of Unreal Engine. I'll show you what I'm talking about right now, so that you can understand why the base pass shader score is so important. We're going to compare two materials with two different parameters. Here's a filter. You can use filter by what you need to find. It depends on the folder you choose. And this engine folder. You click on Settings. Then tick Show Plugin Content. We will compare with the glass material. We will draw an object.
Here we go again, I can't sleep at night, wondering where you are, who's holding you tight. You say you don't go out on weeknights, I think that's a lie. I know you don't owe me anything.
It is saying the object is out of the bounds of the level. Ignore it, we only test and then delete it, so it's not a problem. Please select the object, then press the W key equals move command. U between the ATL key and drag out to copy. Here base pass shader, BPS, is 1431. With materials that see through like this, BPS is very heavy. Not to mention both see-through and reduced FPS reflection. We will compare with the original material. Please notice the current FPS is around 70 to 85. But with the original material, it seems that the FPS has improved. That is the difference. We will compare with another method. Shader complexity. It will perform optimally with see-through material. Here there are three benchmarks. The current performance is very bad. If a lot will affect the performance a lot. This is why the spec sheet should not be set too much necessary. Let's give priority to real time. Now let's learn more about how to set up the material. We will create a new material. You right-click on the Content Browser tab. You can create it here. Or here there are a few other sites. I'll be making more in-depth videos later on. Stay tuned and get notified about them. Being materials for landscape. UI, post-process. Now let's use this basic material. I named it M_bastiest. M, it will be the symbol, please get used to this. Base color equals diffuse in another renderer. Show the color. Now we will assign it to vector 1. Or you can hold the number key 1 and left click. This constant just states the value of constant 2 vector. It has two parameters x and y. White output is the sum of each x and y is one float. 3 vector 2, just add the vector z. We drag and concatenate it in. The example, I show the metal mapping. Can still put one float head into the base color. One is completely white. Zero 0.5 is metallic gray, showing from 0 to 1. We see it starts to map metal. And if equals 0, it is removed. With specular, then also non-metallic gloss. With value from 0 to 1. Default value, if not assigned to nodes, will be 0.5. It will not affected by metallic. Roughness equals glossies. It is reflection. Equals 0 is complete reflection. Equals 1 is discard. But have to apply multiple times to make it faster. We will create instance. It is dependent subversion in parent. We will put the value out, so we can control it without affecting the original. Right-click and you choose Convert to Parameter. You have to name them. Whatever you want, but let's make it easy to understand. Or you just right-click on the output you need. Select Promote to Parameter. It's the same. And now we control right here, without having to apply wide many times, so that you can learn more about the meaning of the nodes. I will leave the link below the description. You can see more there. In the previous video, I mentioned the free library of Quixel. For newbies, you should use this for a while to get used to the parameters. Over time you will understand more about how the material works. However, I will briefly talk Now we choose the material to look in the concrete material example library. You choose surfaces and search for concrete. Material here a lot of. These are scans from actual materials. And then they edit them again. Now we just need to. No need to do anything else. We will download this. Please choose a resolution before downloading. It is equivalent to 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K. But I recommend you only use 1K or 2K. If you need to do it. Cinematic high quality. Or only rendering certain images. Need to be really high quality too. Need these. While running in real time should only be 1K or 2K. Interactions or to play games. We should use these two only. If you guys download these, it's very heavy, up to 100 MB for each set of materials. The first thing is to load the following parameters and then load the texture again. This is so heavy. Please consider before downloading. After downloading, you just need to click on Add. It will automatically add to the project for you. First we try this with the current medium resolution texture is 2K. So that's fine. If the height is 1.7 m, then it's clear that it's not too bad. Now we're going to do a quick example here with only one or a few objects. Then you can add each one. However, if what to do with hundreds of these? You find the materials that are associated with them. You replace the parent. I explained to you here. For example, this parent is a when you create the instance. It created one, so is the child of A. We call it a. If you change this a to B, This A is still A. Only this becomes B. But it still takes the parameter of this A. B. This is it only changes some things, but still depends on the attribute of A. Now I'm going to model it for you. For example, this is the parent of this material. This is the root parent of what Megascan has set. It to look like the A I described. And when you create instance, it will create a child version that is affected by the properties of the other A. And when you change here to B, it will not affect the original parent A. Now if you want to change change all of these. You don't have to add them one by one. You just need to put it here. Change it all. Change it all to change everything related to see loving that material. This way is very fast, but sometimes you have to be careful when creating an instance. It will be influenced by the new parent. For example, if I choose a different texture, only it changes, it's the same. But for example, this one I change, all changes according to that. Other flashpoint are the same as before, so I didn't check carefully, so I'm left there. Now I'll introduce a little bit about the available Megascan material. Can fully control UV directly here. Tilling equals scale. Offset equals move. Rotation angle is rotation, but is calculated in 360 degrees equals 1. For example, you adjust this to change color. This is the color saturation. You can be adjusted here without having to go through Photoshop anymore. Normal, the higher or lower the value of the shadow is displayed, the easier it is to check here. Equals 0 is to remove it. But it needs the correct PBR standard map for. Some maps if it doesn't do well. This will make it feel like it's not. Some maps that we see it. SSS color is a light transparent material. For example, human skin. You have to change the property to subsurface. Then the new SSS works. Too bright, so it won't show up. Now we will go to the next part. If you have defined the texture in SketchUp, for example, a wood map according to the customer's request, for example this one, can't be changed, but this Megascan material store can't bind the wood material according to the requirements. I found out this is a wood, but there is no such thing as the same wood material here. What should I do now? Which materials can show full? Okay, but in here is that well here. You don't have the necessary textures. But otherwise it doesn't look real. Switch to this one, it looks very. Then you have to do it this way. Find shaders maps. Are either crazy bug or some website that can create a normal map directly on the web. However, you need to have the correct PBR map. Or use the shader map. Please choose PBR material. You right-click on this map. It here. We drag it to the shader map. It will automatically create for you the necessary maps. You can edit as you like. Now we save it. After save once done, it will show. So we can just import them, drag straight. Here. Folder. Note that wherever you go, remember to create a shouldn't be created. Throw it away. After we create it, now we'll get the parent of. My Megascan, or use multiple tabs content browser. Creates a lot for example, if you want to put it in here. Then when you find it without having to find it again, it's still here. We add the texture. You see that it can't be added. It's a virtual texture. Will you add it? Yes. It shows below the texture VT. But here, it is not here. It is another method of calculating UV. Later you dig deeper, you will understand what it is. Now we put it here. You do this way. Or here it says the size of this is. Resolution must be 1024 by 1024. Now it's. We have to cut it. When you open this, you find the image size. Enter 1024 and remove the 1024 scale lock. But if that means the map will not expand properly. It will copy through. Press Ctrl plus T and drag, it says. This. This is not needed, so we leave it. Then, or in the resolutions. You do this right. Now it has changed. Texture system of Megascan. For example, this map of Megascan is integrated, each channel is. For example, the channel is Roughness, the channel is AO, specular. We will use Roughness. Then we will adjust the time I will turn this on. You can see it floating. Our lesson today is over. Today I showed you some ways, but to learn about the if there is an advanced part. Please subscribe to my channel and wait for the upcoming videos. I will guide you with some other materials. UI, landscape, water or ECT. The next tutorial we will do all the materials here. Before sending you the last file, and next post will be the way to I optimize the model and edit some models that have errors when importing. To make the file optimal. Hello guys. If you find it interesting, please give me one sub, 1 like and 1 centimeter peace.